human being. However, human beings of industrialized countries have a particular sickening and strange habit concerning this, because in the evening and at night they chase their pleasures and hence proceed very late to a night's rest, in order to consequently get up either unrested, or not until the late morning or day hours. However, this corresponds not only to a very unhealthy and illness-supporting way of life, but it thereby also impairs the power of concentration in a manner that erratic thoughts, feelings and actions arise. Nevertheless, as has been said since time immemorial, sleep is a changeable factor of consciousness, and thoughts, feelings and actions form accordingly. If the consciousness is impaired by sleep disorders or sleep deprivation, then, whilst settling, unconcentrated and uncontrolled bad and negative thoughts and feelings arise, which have an effect on the dream world and have a disruptive influence. In this process fitful and unrestful sleep is the result, in which also confused psyche and consciousness overloading and often nightmare-type dreams are not rare. The process is very different when a normal bedtime is kept and also a certain controlled activity of thought and feeling is practiced. If on falling asleep virtuous, good and positive thoughts and feelings are cultivated in a concentrated and controlled way, then the sleep is also balanced, while dreams express themselves in virtuous thoughts and feelings. Hence, it is necessary to cultivate concentrated and controlled virtuous thoughts and feelings in a meditative manner before falling asleep. Such thoughts and feelings, for example, can be directed towards the development of feelings for one's fellow human beings as well as for fauna and flora, etc. However, the opportunities in this regard are boundless. Meditative concentration and control concerning good and positive thoughts, feelings and actions strengthen on the one hand the consciousness and the psyche, on the other hand also the personality and the character in all its variations. The entire mental block becomes an immense might which is in any respect of great benefit to the consciousness-related development in daily life within the personal framework as well as in the environment and in dealing with the fellow humans and the fauna and flora. Also, physical cleanliness is of significance concerning sleep. If one follows the guidelines of the spiritual teaching, then before going to bed a little body washing just with water should be a duty, whereby it doesn't matter whether the water is cold or warm. If the concentration and control is directed towards this little cleaning, then it has an effect on the welfare of the body, because it gains an advantage in the form that the body settles down sooner and more restfully. However, the real great advantage lies in the fact that the body doesn't excessively relax and therefore doesn't physically exhaust itself, which leads to a restful sleep and to a refreshed awakening. Furthermore, it leads to the fact that no abysmal faint-like sleep occurs, from which on awakening a feeling of being quite knocked up arises, as well as no bad dreams are making sleep a torment. A good method is not to be exposed to torment and the darkness of lack of knowledge during sleep is a short meditative concentration. Meditative light concentration on going to bed. The meditative concentration is directed at visualizing a light appearance, which can be created in all personally desired colors. The important thing here is that the thoughts and feelings are affecting the consciousness in a way that it creates with closed eyes the desired light appearance through the concentrated and controlled power of imagination. Once the light appearance manifests itself in the consciousness, then one can go over to the next step. Falling asleep meditation. The falling asleep meditation consists of 2 steps, whereby the first one is the so-called active step and does not correspond to meditation yet. This phase consists of being actively concentrated in the manner that all thoughts and feelings are deliberately switched off. Once the state of total thoughtlessness and unfeelingness has arisen, then the real meditation state of the falling asleep meditation is reached, namely, the so-called non-active state and the passive state of the consciousness. This state is maintained, after which in the shortest time the consciousness drifts off into a dozy state and completely closes off all external and internal influences, by which sleep sets in. During sleep the meditation continues to be effective, whereby the consciousness connects itself with the data of the unconscious and subconscious, through which dream events then arise. If no meditative light concentration and no falling asleep meditation are practiced, then dreams form according to the thought and feeling concentration in good and positive or in bad and negative form, always according to what happened before falling asleep. The human being should always enjoy only the necessary measure of sleep and not lazily stay in bed for hours needlessly. Attentiveness and self-proof, as well as the wish and the action to get up after a sleep and to dedicate oneself to a useful day work, must always be in the foreground. As a rule, 8 hours is the highest measure of all things concerning sleeping and lying in bed. More than that fosters laziness, aggression, moodiness, neglect of duty and disinterest, etc., and moreover, it testifies to a weakness of character and virtuelessness. Before falling asleep and before a useful meditative concentration, a special attention should be directed towards the activities of the day gone by, in order to let pass in review everything that mattered. Another possibility is also to go through the intended meditation in thoughts and feelings. If one or the other is done successfully, then, as a rule, control is not lost during sleep, consequently sleep and dreams will be virtuous. Furthermore, it is also possible to be virtuous during sleep and whilst dreaming, and thus to care for virtuous thoughts and feelings in a concentrated and controlled manner. Thereby the ability is given to direct the dreams during sleep, or to give them a desired direction in a meditative concentrative way, which they will also follow. Another success resulting from it is that on waking a clear mental truth is given, consequently a very clear state of consciousness prevails, even if the levels of the sensory consciousness have not attained their might yet again. If the clear state of consciousness is then required to carry out analytical observations and experiences, etc., then an effectiveness is given to a high degree. It is necessary that a decisive mental attitude is formed towards the exact time at which to awaken from sleep. Thereby, sleep should always be light and not heavy in order to also keep full control during sleep, just as it is also inherent to the creatures. There too, only a motivation as well as a decision and the volition to really turn it into reality is required. If this is done, then the ability is also created to wake up at the right time, as planned and desired. The whole thing is based on a power of the entire mental block, whereby everything can also be used to make proper use of the entire way of life and all aspects of life in general, and as a whole to direct all possible factors in a virtuous direction. Thereby, and this is another plus of the whole thing, very many bad and negative thoughts, feelings, actions, desires and wishes, etc. can be minimized or even averted. For the human being it is extremely important and of special value to always realize that there are both two forms of concentration and two forms of meditation. One form refers to the stabilization, which means that the object of concentration or meditation is fixed and is made permanent and unchanging. The second form is that of analytics, by which the consciousness carries out an investigation and analysis of what has been concentrated and meditated on in an observing and considering, researching, testing and investigating manner, in order to create from it a synthesis, that is a summary and union or rather a result. This analysis is of importance because first of all everything must be processed, worked on, and everything must be undertaken to be able to use the whole thing. Everything must be formed in the right way. That's why it is mainly important to think thoroughly about all destructive characters and about all shortcomings in order to recognize how and in what way negative thoughts, feelings and actions are released. Only in this way bad and negative blindnesses can be switched off and be overcome. Everything must be fathomed and understood using the analytics in clear-sighted wisdom. Only if this is done, can it be expected that a firm determination evolves to carry out a true concentration or meditation. The process of the analytics is on the whole an introductory measure which prepares the consciousness to use the main power of the concentration or meditation and to gain results from it. Has the right foundation been laid and the consciousness been prepared by the analysis for its task, then every true concentration or meditation can be practiced and lead to success. Thereby it doesn't matter what the concentration or meditation is directed to, Consequently, the fulfillment can be insight, cognition,